My name is Angelina Mirabito and I'm a contemporary artist. I'm third generation Italian Australian. My grandparents migrated from the islands of Sicily where they didn't have very primary school education, and they spoke a broken dialect, and then my parents were the first generation here, and they went to, my dad didn't finish primary school and my mother just went into year 9. And growing up in the household that I did, they spoke their Italian dialect, and then at school everyone spoke English. And I think the first thing to me, or the only thing to me that had made sense, and that's my through line in life, has been art. And it really has been art from various cultures. But my parents being Roman Catholic, went to church every Sunday, and it really started with the stained glass windows and all the art that was from the stories of the Bible. And then as I learned to read, I learned to know what those stories meant. And then growing up, going to art galleries or whatever art I could get, I used to just stay in the library and look at art books. That has been the beginnings of the influence of art and the influences of multicultural. So the more I think about it, the embeddedness of multiculturalism has come from that visual thing and the sound of other languages going on, and then learning between the language at school and the language at home, but really visually learning. And I went on to study art and got a PhD in the therapeutic value of creative writing, where I started to learn the language and how to use language to say things and make sense of things. And so that's a bit about the background and the multiculturalism that has a lot of different influences going on for me. Now, my writing and storytelling and use of language got massively interrupted from the effects of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, where I had a functional seizure and I really had to learn to move, walk and function again. And a part of that was making art. And art again had been something that I'd always done. It wasn't formal studies, but it was just something. So I always felt like I could breathe in an art gallery or amongst art, or it was a stabilizing force. And during my studies, I'd always just get a studio. I'd save up my money, get a studio, make art, and then not know what to do with it. So move on to the language. But then when I had this functional seizure, all I could do was make art. And I learnt how to start to communicate without words, with texture and color, and look at those universal principles. And because of my background in history and story and love of mythology and spirituality, I saw that there's certain things that different cultures revisit and have their own specific ways in representing and discussing and understanding, and it develops this multifaceted way of knowing and understanding both yourself, the world and others through these universal principles like water, which is the series of paintings that I've got in this exhibition. So that universal principle of water explored specifically in different ways of storytelling and cultures and spirituality and art over time, as well as cultures, as well as different artists who all do it differently. It all has a very nuanced and rich evolution and understanding and expression that then filtrated into my practice for this particular series of paintings, as well as why this particular event today is so meaningful to me, because there is both a visual conversation going on in multiculturalism and multicultural influence, as well as a way that we can start to talk about it in events like this and through art and the dialogue between art and language, as well as community. So people standing in front of the painting and experiencing it. There's a transmission going on through the universal principle, whether or not there's an understanding that in those paintings it's influenced by Greek goddesses, the sea goddesses in mythology, and this notion of transformation and just the rich layered stories of transformation, renewal and rebirth that go across cultures in different ways of storytelling that the water principle has, and its meaning and significance. And the idea that the water can stand in a metaphor for who we are in our essence, and as we go throughout a lifetime, we experience ourselves differently and we transform. And it's through the visual and cultural conversations and people that we have interactions with, as well as place, as well as just all the different things have this impact on conversation and transformation of ways of knowing, understanding ourselves and others, and then we become a part of the conversation in how we show up in life or whatever our expression is or our dialogues are.